Hi, this is Dr. Mike, host of the free iTunes podcast, Psychiatric Secrets Revealed with Dr. Mike, but that's not why I'm here today. This is another Saving Savvy episode, and in this episode, I'm going to tell you about my journey finding a smart assistant speaker. Now, I'll tell you, about 4 months ago, I had absolutely no desire to get one of these smart assistant speakers. I thought that they were an invasion of privacy, and I felt that all these companies, from Apple to Google to Microsoft, I felt they all had more than enough information on me just from my computer use. And I really didn't see the benefit of having a smart speaker. That is until I helped my friend Tom's son kind of hook up an Alexa Dot. And that's the little hockey puck speaker that you can get very inexpensive from Amazon. And it was very simple to hook up, and we had just a blast asking it questions, having it play music, setting timers, setting alarms. I thought, wow, getting the weather. I thought, this is really cool. And I started thinking about getting one for myself. But what one to get? There's really three major players in the smart assistant speaker market. And that is, those are, I should say, the Apple HomePod, which just came out, the Google Assistant, which has been out for a little bit of time, and the Alexa from Amazon, which of course has been out for a couple of years now. So it would make the most sense for me to get the HomePod. Why is that? Because I'm well invested in Apple. In fact, here's my Apple Watch. Here's my Is it upside down? Here's my upside down iPhone. Here's an iPad. I'm recording this now using a MacBook Pro. I'm using Apple monitors. I even have an Apple mouse. So I'm well invested in the Apple system. I really like their products. I think they make great high quality items. So what did I go with? Hold on, I'll show you. I'll bend over this way. Hey Google, what time is it?
7:23.
Yeah, I went with Google. So why would I do that? I love the Alexa. I have tons of Apple products. Why did I go with Google? Well, first of all, I'll tell you why I didn't go with Apple, and then later in the conversation, I'll tell you why I didn't go with the Amazon system. So the Apple HomePod is really just a device of one. And to me, it seems like it was designed by a design team of single people that all lived in studio or one-bedroom apartments. Because it's really a device for just a single person, just like their phones are, just like the iPad is, kind of an individual device. And in fact, at $350, although it's expensive, it's reportedly to sound as good, and some people would say even better, than the more expensive Google Max that I just showed you back there. And it's also smaller, and it's more sophisticated. It has speakers all the way around the top of the unit, and therefore you can stick it anywhere in the room and you get balanced sound, where this just has the front firing speakers, and so you have to kind of position it correctly. But it has its limitations. Now, I think some of the limitations will be corrected in future software or firmware updates. Some of them may not be, though. So what are some of the limitations? Let me put on my glasses. Well, for instance, the voice recognition is not good. It doesn't really recognize different voices. Now, that's very important if I wanted to read back a text message or send back a text or send a text message. Now, you can't do that from a lot of these other units either, but you can do that on the Apple unit, but anyone could do that. I could have my neighbor come over and send a text message to me, from me, to my wife saying something ridiculous, right? So that's not such a great idea. Of course, if I lived alone, it wouldn't make much difference. Well, it doesn't connect well with other devices or other services. So, of course, it will work with the Apple Music streaming service, but it doesn't work directly with Spotify. Now, I can stream from my phone to it, but that's not a direct connection. That's just using it as a Bluetooth, basically as a smart speaker or a Bluetooth speaker. But with the other units, you can actually say, I want Spotify or Pandora or whatever, and use those playlists and all that from those services, which is a great thing because I have Spotify. It doesn't have an audio jack, but a lot of them don't. At least the Google don't. I have the audio jacks on them. You can't stereo pair it. In other words, take two of them and make them into a stereo. It doesn't recognize that yet, but it probably will. You can't order a lot of things from it where you can with like the Amazon system, and in a more limited way with Google. You can't set multiple timers. I don't know, why doesn't Apple have multiple timers? That is a goofy thing. The phones don't have multiple timers either. It's one of the most wonderful functions that you have on that I use on the phone all the time. I'm constantly saying, set the timer for 30 minutes when I'm cooking something. You can use it as basically a speakerphone using your iPhone, but you really can't use it as a independent unit to make phone calls. You can't get recipes from it. You can't ask what your calendar is. It does do the typical things, like it will do the turning on various lights and controlling other devices in your home, and it will, of course, give you facts just like Siri would, but it's just not as sophisticated, at least at this point, compared to the other two product lines, the Google product line and the Amazon product line. But I think some of that can be corrected, and some of that will come our way if we just wait long enough. But it's still, even with that knowledge, I still felt that the Google for me was the better product. Why is that? Well, because not only does the Google Assistant work on that expensive device, it also works on this device. This is the Google Home Mini, which is only $49. It works on this Insignia device, which is on sale now for $49 and a little bit bigger. It works on this Google Home device, which is $129. It works on this JBL Link device, $199. It works on Sony devices. So I have a wide variety of different devices that I can use, and they all connect together. It also works seamlessly with Chromecast. So both Chromecast audio and Chromecast video. So I could technically get very high quality sound connecting external speakers and a little amplifier anywhere I want. So if I had some speakers lying around, which I actually happen to have, and a Chromecast audio unit, I could get really good sound from that little hockey puck shaped Google Home Mini. So that's a pretty cool thing. I could easily stream things to my television set, even though it's not an Apple TV or a Google TV or anything like that. It's just a regular old TV. With Chromecast, I just plug it into an HDMI port, and I'm up and running. And not only can I stream from my Google device, I can also stream from my computer. In fact, that really came to play just this last week, because we gave up cable. I'll probably do a video on it, but after years and years and years and years, I canceled my cable, and we're relying now just on internet and an outside antenna. And so that has been a difficult transition for us, and especially because during the March Madness, Loyola was playing. Loyola is a Chicago team. We were all very excited about it, but it was on a cable channel. However, we were able to stream it from a computer using Chromecast directly to just this no-brand TV that we have, and watch the game just fine. So that's an important function. And those things come with these more sophisticated products. Well, and of course, Google, at this point anyway, supports more lights and switches and gadgetry, but that will probably come to Apple too. So the question you may ask is, why not get the Alexa, which is the unit that I initially saw and really liked very, very much? Well, it really was 6 to 1, half a dozen of another. If Alexa was the only device out there, I'm sure I would be very, very happy with it. However, it seems like Alexa is more purchase-centric and Google is more information-centric. So yes, I can't really order a Lyft vehicle on Google, and I can't order my movie tickets and things like that, but I don't really do those things very often anyway. But what I do a lot of is ask for information, ask for songs, ask for playlists, use timers, and in those areas, Google is great, and especially in the information area, it's superior to Alexa. So that's why I went with Google. Would have been happy with either. If only the HomePod existed, I'm sure I'd be happy with that. It's still pretty darn sophisticated. It's an excellent product, and if they start to introduce little versions of it and they just kind of fix some of these shortcomings, I'm sure it's going to take off. Now, I'm pretty sure they'll fix the shortcomings. I'm less sure that they're going to introduce little cheaper gadgets because it doesn't seem like that's Apple's style. Anyway, time will tell. So with that, I'd say thank you very, very much for watching. If you watching, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. If you like my channel, which is very diverse, please subscribe. I really would like that a lot. I'm trying to get past 4,000 subscribers. You could be one of them. Help me over that hill. I also do a couple other things. I do a writing blog, which is just more about personal feelings and triumphs and tragedies in my life. That's called drmikekuna.com, drmikekuna.com. I also do a podcast with my wife. I'm a board-certified psychiatrist, so I'm a medical doctor, an MD. My wife's a PhD level clinical psychologist, and we do a show that just is a lot of times psychologically oriented, but it also talks about kids and stuff that's happening in the world and just whatever you can imagine. And that's called Psychiatric Secrets Revealed. You can find that on iTunes. Give those two a listen to, or I guess a read and a listen. Anyway, bye again.